little sip. What is up, everyone? My name's Brenner. Welcome to my channel. This is Mr. Liquor Sipper. I'm Mr. Liquor Sipper. We are all Mr. and Mrs. Liquor Sipper. Today, we are doing a review over Redemption Bourbon. Let's find out if this is a sipper or a skipper. Let's go. Alright, so if you have been paying attention to my channel, you know that this bottle has been sitting on the back shelf over here for, I don't know, maybe a month or so. I picked it up. Just so you guys know, this bottle will run you between $30 to $40. Maybe more or less, give or take. It just matters in where you're at and what state, and also how high they decide to jack up the inflation. All that being said, this is a category of American whiskey in the style of bourbon whiskey. It is in the region of Indiana, so that is an open indicator to no other than MGP, which they do not shy away from, so I can appreciate that. Most folks out there in the whiskey community, they like to deny, and come up with their own story about how their great grandcat developed their fucking bourbon and how old and timeless it is. This doesn't have any of that. No facade, no BS. They're pretty open to the game, or open to their actual background and where they get their whiskey from. Now, with that being said, you have a proof of 44, you have an alcohol by volume of 44% with an 88 proof. Distillery, again, is, like I said, MGP of Indiana, and this is believed to be aged 9 years, which I'm excited about. After my last review, I was a little bit disappointed. And this is a new charred oak barreled as far as the cask type. Alright, so taking the whiskey world by storm, Redemption Bourbon reintroduces America's native spirit to its stable of renowned whiskey offerings with the whiskey lines acquisition by, I cannot pronounce this, so don't get angry with me. It's I think it's Douche or Doche, not to be confused with Douche Family Wine and Spirits Company. Redemption Bourbon has received significant attention and investment from its new owners, intending to produce top shelf quality whiskey at a much more affordable price, hence the $30 to $40 range for this particular bourbon. This effort has paid off as of recent, and the entire Redemption whiskey portfolio of spirits has experienced significant revitalization in the massively popular whiskey market, which is continuously growing more and more. So if you haven't gotten into whiskey, I encourage you to jump onto the bandwagon now. I just met two 19-year-olds that were drinking illegally that knew more about whiskey than I did. That is also not true, though. They just look like they were 19. All right. So, unique of Redemption Bourbon, the bourbon spirit line is made with rye sourced from the famed Midwest Grain Products Company in Indiana, USA Midwest Grain has been known for decades as the top rye producer in America, with virtually every top whiskey spirits producer in the market sourcing their rye to ensure the best chance of producing top shelf whiskey. However, much more than just quality rye is needed to produce a great bourbon whiskey. So, as I just stated, if you guys are not aware, the majority of rye whiskeys are coming from Indiana, that Indiana MGP. They just produce a great product, and people just, with that being known, they don't want to adopt anything into their own whiskey line that's going to discredit anything that they've already brought in, and also they want something to more or less credit their business or their bourbon or whiskey line with something that comes from MGP, showing that they know how to pick something from a barrel that has great taste and something that will be accommodating to the consumers. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to go straight into the description. So when it comes to the appearance, obviously you're getting a more of a darker honey looking bottle here. It's actually pretty elegant. This being said about the elegancy of this, if you look at this bottle, it reminds me a lot of the same shape of this bottle. Not that it's exact or anything, so you can see them side by side. They're not exact. Sometimes I may look at a bottle and it might get me a little bit confused, and I literally saw this Redemption bottle and thought, holy crap, this is a Source whiskey. This is not Redemption. This is simply Bullet Bourbon, and they just rebottled it. Apparently that's not actually the case, obviously, but that's what I thought. Right, let's get to popping this thing open. All right, so let's get to popping this thing open here. And get the good old knife-a-roo. Let's cut this thing open. This thing always freaks me out. You know, the other day I had a pretty bad mess that I made. I would hate to cut myself live on camera. Hey Steve, how you doing over there? I just wanted to let you know that you're bleeding out right now. Oh, thank you, John. I appreciate that. All right. Whoops, oopsies. All right, here we go. Ooh, that thing is really in there. Man, I don't know how I'm gonna get that back in. That's what she said. All right, little pour for Charlie Shore, or I don't know. All right, let's get some aromas going. Let's agitate it a little bit. Let's piss it off. Piss it off. You know, it's better to get pissed off than to be pissed on, as I always say. All right, so it's time for everyone's dealaroo, everyone's favorite thing. It's nosing for newbies. All right. Oh man, this smells like a regurgitated Happy Meal with small grungeful hints of Kurt Cobain's MTV Unplugged sweater. I also get smells like smells old and kind of mildewy, like a used old grocery mop from like 4 years ago that's never been changed. Also smells like Captain Morgan's piss, and also get a little bit of, what's that? E-he. Smells like Michael Jackson's burning hair from that Pepsi commercial that he did. Remember that? Simone, sit down, sit down. Okay, let's go to this for the real deal. The real deal dough. Real dildo. Real smells though. Oh man, I almost sipped that. So actually get some oak in there, some sweeter charred oak almost. It almost smells a little barky. Okay, I'm gonna quit screwing around because somebody left in the comment section of one of my other ones. Geez, it took you this long to get to the review? This review is an experience, my guy. Come on. I'm here to entertain and inform. Now, it does definitely have that rich charred oak smell that comes through. Has a sweeter scent that comes through it, almost like there's a slight Yankee Candle in the background of vanilla that's just kind of been simmering there for, I don't know, a few hours. Definitely has some cinnamon, savory malted barley, and it's very inviting actually. For 88 proof, I'm sincerely surprised that it actually has a little bit more depth than some of the other lighter proofs. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go to the palate now. As you would expect, easy sipper. Smooth because it is 88 proof, doesn't even hit the 90 proof mark. It's definitely sweet. There the hints of that spice is there as far as the rye that may be there. But the immediate notice is how smooth it is. It's not very thin on the legs. You can see that there's actually some moving legs that are going on in here that weren't broken, or they're not broken like the last review I did. It's a little bit thicker. It definitely fills the mouth more, more covering the palate, and it's the sweetness is what hits me first, and then after that it's the oak, and then after that it's the spice. It has a medium finish on it, so it doesn't linger too long, but it's not too short. It is nice and satisfying, and I like it. So all the BS aside, my wife told me I should stop cussing so much. So all the BS aside, I feel like this is a sipper. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a legitimate, decent 88 proof sipper, and I really like this. Of course, that being said, with the track record of MGP Indiana, how can you not like this? Some of the folks out there that are the super big purists that only buy the $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 bottles of whiskey and bourbons out there, they may hate this because of the purity that's not there and the story and yada yada yada. That's cool, man. If you want a story, then go pick up a bourbon that has a story, or a whiskey that has a story, or an Irish or a Scottish, or whatever the case is. At the end of the day, you gotta like what you're drinking. I mean, I don't necessarily like Captain Morgan, and I'm not gonna drink it, nor would I drink his piss. So, also this doesn't really smell like that. As I already said, this is definitely a sipper, and all things aside, I appreciate you guys jumping into the glass with me and sipping on some information. I enjoyed every waking moment with you guys, and don't forget to like, subscribe, so we can multiply and divide. Tell your friends, tell your homies, tell your cats, tell your bats, if you have bats, I don't know, guano! You guys remember that from Ace Ventura? Guano, ooh! Okay, so other than that, I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Please help me to grow this community, and also, I keep forgetting, I gotta ship out a bottle to someone out there, so tomorrow I will release that. Anyway, cheers, and until next time, keep on sipping.